Welcome to my makeup storage. This is an IKEA Alex drawer set and where I keep the majority of my makeup products with the exception of backups. Various drawers in here for different things. The one that we're going to focus on today is going to be this one, which is my liquid foundation drawer. I have a few primers out in the back, but I'm not going to talk about that specifically today. Another drawer that I have with a couple of cushion foundations is the one right below it. This is where I keep like highlighters, some contouring products, and like I said, a couple of cushion foundations. Then I also have a lower drawer which I keep blushers and powders, and this does contain a few powder foundations, but I don't think we'll get around to this today. If you want kind of a second video about the cushion foundation as well as my powder foundations, we can talk about that in a separate video. Just let me know down below in the comments section. So let's go back and talk about this mega drawer right here. I will list all of the products I am going to talk about down below in the information bar, along with color references, so you can look that up as well. A lot of these I have reviewed, some of them are in the process of being reviewed, but I'm not going to go into depth or detail about any of these. Some of these are newer to me, some of them are sent by PR, others are purchased by myself. All the information will be in the information bar down below, so sit back and enjoy this video. Why don't we just start with kind of what's on top first in no particular order. I'm going to reach, I think, and grab for this one, which is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. You might be very familiar with this. There's a lot of talk about this. It's a blogger favorite for many people. But my kind of situation with this product is that I have not managed to make it last on my skin and have it look good. When I first apply it, it's beautiful. I like the coverage. I love that it's SPF 50 physical sunblock, great for my sunscreen reactive skin. Everything else is awesome except that maybe half an hour or an hour after I apply it, it starts to show my texture. It starts kind of just looking a bit funky. I have friends who recommended setting this with a powder. I haven't found a great powder that doesn't make it look cakey. It's just a bit of a mess for me to use. This is not a frequent reach for product for me, but if you have tips on how to make this look great on combination skin, let me know. Essentially, I just have a hard time getting it to stay smooth and long lasting on my skin. But this is the IT CC Cream. I know there's a couple of different formulations. I just haven't tried those yet. Let's go on to, why don't we do Vichy? So Vichy has actually a few foundation products in their range. Of course, they are known more for doing skincare, but they have a small selection of colors, but I think the formulas are quite nice. I have only used this one consistently, which is the Teint Ideal foundation. I have this in, I believe, the lightest shade, and essentially this is a really skin-like, I want to say light coverage, light to medium perhaps. Great finish, soft finish, looks really natural on the skin. Would be great as an everyday foundation if you can find a color match. Additionally, though, they also have released in the same at the same time the Teint Ideal. This is the cream foundation, which is meant to be higher coverage, but I have not used this one essentially at all yet to be able to tell you much about it. They also have an illuminator, which is what I have right here, and I think a concealer as well. So check this one out in your local drugstore if you are interested. I do recommend the liquid version though, for sure. Then let's go into this. This is the Juice Beauty Phyto Pigment Flawless Foundation. Now, this does need to be shaken up because it separates. It's a very liquid formula. This looks great if you put the effort in to make it look great. It's not one that you can just haphazardly put on your face and have it just look beautiful, because it dries quite quickly and it is kind of a medium buildable coverage. Fabulous for every day, and it wears on the skin quite well. I just usually don't have the patience to take the time to make this look flawless. A lot of you who do like the more natural / organic skincare brands, this might be a great consideration. I think it is actually quite nice on the skin if you just take the time to put in the effort for it. But Juice Beauty, I do wear this one sometimes when I'm not in a rush. Then one of my favorites, I travel with this all the time. This is essentially almost always in my collection. I have a review on this, which is actually one of my most viewed videos, the MAC Face and Body Foundation. This is not for everybody, but I think everybody should experience it once and decide if they like it. I really love it. I've loved it for years. I have the small size, so it's easy for travel. This is a light to medium coverage buildable foundation with a gorgeous glowy skin-like finish. There is nothing else I have used that looks quite like this when applied nicely on the skin. I prefer to use my fingers. That's the best tool for this one. You just tap it in and it just looks great. I always really like my skin when I have this on. Granted, this is not for high coverage. This is not for kind of concealing purposes. This is not for a bad skin day. But everything else, this is really just a gorgeous product, and I've always talked about this. Let's get into, why don't we go here? This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. Now, this is one that I have bought because there was a lot of talk about it, and I actually haven't tried this one yet. So let me know if you use it, like it, don't like it, any opinions about it. It is surprisingly about $16, $17 through Walmart here in Canada. And Wet n Wild is supposed to be affordable. Now, I picked this up in the States, so it was a bit less. But imagine like Wet n Wild for 17 bucks Canadian. That's a lot. The color seems good. I haven't used it yet, but let me know your thoughts on this one. This is one of those YouTube made me buy it products. I have here the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Stick, which is again a favorite for a lot of people. Now, for me, this is way too high coverage to be used as an everyday product. It is essentially my concealer product if I am looking to do kind of some photos for the blog or whenever I need to look really, really made up. I would not necessarily use this all over my face. I have done it a couple of times when I really just need to block out my skin. It looks nice. It's a satin finish. It really, really smoothed your skin. I don't think it's particularly long wearing, but I've also kind of not experimented with wearing this a full day. It's just a lot of makeup, and it can look like a lot of makeup if you're not careful in how you apply this. So I do keep this around. Don't wear it every day though. Moving along further into Makeup Forever, I also was a fan of the Makeup Forever Face and Body Foundation, which is kind of comparable to the MAC Face and Body. Now, then they changed the formula, and the new version of what was the Face and Body is now called Waterblend. I don't love Waterblend as much as the OG Face and Body. The texture is a little bit different. The way it sits on the skin is a little bit different. I find it not as glowy as the OG Face and Body. This is still a great foundation, but not as good as the previous, and I think I still do prefer the MAC Face and Body. With that being said, if you like the way this sits on your skin, I would call it a light, buildable to medium coverage. It feels very lightweight though. It has that jelly consistency. It does kind of dry fast, so you will have to blend quickly and work in small sections of the face. I do have two colors. One is actually a bit too light for me, and one would probably be my summer shade, and right now it's a smidge dark. But regardless, I keep them around because I use them sometimes, but they're not the quickest to apply. It takes a bit of work for me to get this looking flawless on my skin. Okay, let's keep trucking through. Estee Lauder Double Wear, super classic product. Again, I have two shades because I can't find the color match. So, my skin is actually more of a neutral with a hint of warm. This color is, let's see, 1N1, so this is their light neutral. This one is 1W1, this is their warm. I am actually a mix of the two shades, so hence why now I have two bottles. I think this is a great foundation if you like that fuller coverage. I would say medium buildable for sure, and I would even call this a natural everyday full coverage. Not the full coverage you use for drag, but for the average person doing your 9 to 5, this is great if you like that higher coverage product. There's many variations of the double wear out now. I do like the original, which this is, and for the most part, no complaints about it. I have also worn the MAC Studio Fix Fluid, which is kind of I don't want to say a sister product, maybe a competitor product, and I think they're both great. They are a little bit different. I can't decide which one I like better, but I have used both, and I would use either one, kind of with no real preference between the two. Okay, let's keep going through here. I have a foundation that I should really wear more often, but again, I'm not sure how to apply to make it look flawless. It does take a bit of work. This is the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau. A lot of people love this. SPF 20, beautiful consistency and fluidity in terms of essentially all Guerlain products, but it's a little bit hard to work on my skin. I don't know why. It looks great on other people's skin, just haven't really warmed up to me, this one in particular. And this is actually a product that not a lot of people talk about, and therefore there aren't that many tutorials or things like that about how people apply it. So I'm still kind of experimenting. Let me know in particular if you have this and if you love it and know how to use it. A newer addition to my collection is the Clarins Skin Illusion. This is more of a natural, I want to say light. Okay, I'm going to take this off. It's blinding everybody. This is more of a light to slightly medium coverage foundation. Really fluid, really nice texture and consistency. Has a kind of a soft glow to the skin. Doesn't feel wet, doesn't feel tacky. I would say these two are comparable, along with the Dior Skin Nude, which I'll talk about in a second. So these three actually are very, very similar. So if you're looking for different price points, inexpensive, medium, and over here quite expensive. But so far I like it. I haven't used it consistently enough. It's quite new to my collection. I don't know if they might be discontinuing this sometime soon because it's not sold in a lot of places. But I think it does just make the skin look really great, really fresh, and very kind of Clarins, if you will. So I've got this one. I also have the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. I was all over this when they first launched. Somewhat because of the ads, and also because it was one of the more affordable, comparatively affordable foundations from Charlotte Tilbury. Prior to this, they only had the one in the squeezy tube, and I thought it was kind of expensive. So this one comes with a pump. If you buy it in the States or in the UK, it does not come with this awful sticker. I think we put this on in Canada just to adhere to the regulations of having French and English on all of our products. I'm going to take the sticker off later on. Essentially, this would be, I want to say, a soft matte finish, medium buildable coverage, building up to maybe a natural full coverage. Reasonably long wearing, but I do need to really hydrate my skin before putting this on. It does tend to be a little bit drying and not the most fluid to blend the Magic Foundation. Let's go. Why don't we just go straight to Dior? So I have two Dior foundations as of right now, and they're kind of both for different purposes. This one, the Dior Forever, is their SPF 35, their Shine Control Foundation. It's really more of a, I want to say, medium, slightly buildable coverage, soft matte, slightly powdery finish on the skin. This is something I would wear if I really want to get made up, if you will, and just look kind of velvety. It has that velvety finish. Dior can make a lot of people break out, I will tell you that. My skin has grown a bit better with Dior, but it's one of those brands that I have used for a long time, and I will say I am slightly biased towards Dior products, even though not all of them are that excellent. This one is okay. I wouldn't say it's a favorite, but it's good. A favorite, however, would be this. This is the Diorskin Nude Foundation, which I am scared they are discontinuing because it's really hard to get a hold of now, and it's really hard to get a full hold of the full color spectrum. This is SPF 15. They call it an emulsion, and it's called the Skin Glowing Makeup. I had reviewed this ages and ages ago on my channel when this first came out, and I still like it. I like the way it makes skin look. It's soft, it's glowing. It's kind of a similar look to the MAC Face and Body, but just a bit plumper, if you will. Again, not the most long lasting, but I don't care. I think it looks fabulous on the skin. So there you go, Dior. Dior's shade selection can be a bit iffy, but I can get away with it if I just kind of blend it down my neck. Okay, where should we go next? Let's do Armani. So I have two Armani foundations. This one is the Power Fabric, their newer foundation, although not their newest. This is SPF 25. It's meant to be a long-wearing, high-coverage foundation. Long-wearing, not so much. High coverage, not so much either. I'm a bit confused by this foundation. I think it looks good on the skin. It photographs really nicely, but it's definitely neither full coverage, it's neither high coverage or long wearing for my skin. I would say it's a natural medium coverage. I would also say it has a velvety, soft finish. It feels a bit silicone-y, but I can't be certain if it has high amounts of silicone or not. I haven't checked the ingredients in a long time. Essentially, I've reviewed this, but I don't love it as much as I really love the Luminous Silk. So everything that everybody says and raves about the Luminous Silk is essentially true. In my opinion anyways, I like wearing this if I'm going out. I like wearing this if I'm going to an event. I need my skin to look really awesome. But it's not for high coverage. If you're looking for like full coverage, this is definitely not it. I would say medium coverage, light to medium coverage, but it looks really polished and expensive on the skin. Now, granted, this is very expensive, but you know, just the way it makes the skin look, I think is great. Color match is also pretty good for me in the color number 2. Really like this one. Last two in the drawer. This one is a newer addition as well. The Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation is kind of a current favorite. They say full coverage, oil-free shine control. I'm not super shiny or oily. I have combination skin, but I like the color match. This is a bang-on color match. No line of demarcation blended down to my neck. I have the color in number 2 Sand. So, you know, props to Bobbi Brown for that one. I like the way this wears on my skin. It is, I want to say, comparable to Estee Lauder Double Wear. If you like this, you might like this one as well. It does have a soft matte finish and it does dry very quickly, so it takes some practice working with it, but once it's on, it looks fabulous. I like this. Okay, last one, and my newest acquisition is the La Mer, the Soft Fluid Long Wear Foundation. I really just want to try this out and see what the hype was all about. Is the foundation ever worth this amount of money? I don't think so, but if you really use La Mer skincare, you're totally into the miracle broth thing, this might be a consideration. I want to try it out and see exactly what it does. The color match is quite good for my skin. I picked this up recently over at Haute Renfrew here in Vancouver, so wait for the review on this one. Alright, I guess this is the end of our collection.